The NBA is a unique league that attracts both players and fans from all around the world. For the most part, a majority of the players in the league are fairly creative. However, sometimes certain players take that creativity to another level. This is also true for NBA players and their free throw rituals. Some players throughout league history have created mysterious and bizarre tactics to try and improve their performance from the free throw line. Whether it may be a small hand gesture or the rubbing of one's face, most of these practices are fairly strange. Today we take a look at the weirdest NBA free throw rituals you probably didn't know exist. Welcome to NBA Insider. Although this may not necessarily be considered a ritual, legendary coach Don Nelson deserves to be on this list for his unique free throw shooting technique. Back when he was still playing in the NBA from 1962 to 1976, Don Nelson would hold the ball by his right hand while leaning towards the hoop on his right leg, leaving his left leg hanging. He would then proceed to shoot his free throw one-handed. Using this technique, Nelson shot a respectable 76.5% for his entire career. He used this method to help him at the free throw line while winning 5 NBA championships throughout his career before going on to win 3 NBA Coach of the Year awards. Many players have a ritual. However, ex-NBA player Nick Van Exel had a reputation of being extremely confident when it came to free throw shooting. Van Exel doesn't do anything crazy like adjust his socks or wipe his sweat a certain way. Instead, it was his confidence that was his ritual. He was so confident in his shooting ability that he would shoot his free throws from about 17 feet instead of 15 feet. This may not necessarily be considered as a ritual as well, but it is still rather strange. Using this range would allow for a free throw percentage under 80% during Van Exel's last 5 seasons. Gregory Kimball is claimed to have one of the most unique free throw shooting techniques ever, but for an extremely respectable reason. Kimball would always take his first free throw left-handed despite being naturally right-handed. Many fans were confused as to why he would bother shooting with his left hand at all. However, what they didn't know was that the ritual was a tribute to his best friend and teammate Hank Gaithers, who was an NBA first-round draft prospect from Loyola University. Back in 1990, Gaithers broke down and died of a heart condition halfway through a tournament. Greg paid respects to his lost friend by shooting with his left hand. Although there is nothing weird about this ritual, I felt it would be appropriate to pay respects to a player who had the most honorable free throw ritual of all time. Ex-NBA player Richard Hamilton would dribble twice in front and once to the right before making his free throws. In a career lasting 14 seasons, 9 with the Detroit Pistons, Hamilton only ever shot under 80% from the free throw line in a season twice and averaged almost 85% for his career. As a 3-time NBA All-Star and a member of the 2004 NBA champion Pistons, Rip began the routine early in his time with the University of Connecticut, leading the Huskies to the 1999 NCAA championship in the process. As one of the best free throw shooters in NBA history, Jeff Hornacek once made 67 free throws in a row. Hornacek's free throw career percentage is even the 15th highest in NBA history. Although his routine didn't necessarily affect his shot, it was still pretty strange. The Utah Jazz player would stroke his cheek 3 times before every shot, specifically the right side. No one questioned this technique because Hornacek shot an average of 87% of his free throws throughout his career. In fact, in his last season in the NBA, Hornacek shot 95% from the free throw line. However, during an interview in 2000, Hornacek explained that the ritual was a tribute to his 3 children and was a way of saying he loved them. Best known as an elite lockdown defender, Alonzo Mourning's free throw routine was also a way to pay tribute to his family. Before taking each of his shots, Mourning would kiss his wrist and raise it to his forehead. This did not help a whole lot with his free throw percentage, shooting just below 70% in his 16-year career, mostly with the Miami Heat. However, it did give him something to look forward to each time he went to the line. When watching Jason Kidd on the court, the first thing fans would notice was his ability to control the game. The second would be his unique free throw routine. Similar to that of Jeff Hornacek and Alonzo Mourning, current Milwaukee Bucks head coach Jason Kidd offered a tribute to his family whenever he touched the free throw line. Jason Kidd would blow a kiss before shooting his shot as a way of telling his wife and kids that he was thinking of them. Aside from keeping his family in mind, the kiss also allowed Jason Kidd to focus on shooting his free throws. Although it didn't work out with his wife due to divorce, the free throw routine worked out pretty well. Kidd ended up with a career free throw average of 75%. Steve Nash is not only the best ever free throw shooter in the eyes of the majority of NBA fans, but he is the best best free throw shooter in the NBA record books. Every time Steve Nash goes to the foul line, he shoots 5 or 6 free throws. Sure, there's a 2 that really count, but Nash always takes several imaginary shots before getting the ball. He says it helps him not only visualize the ball going through the net, but also gets his brain and body prepared. Although it wasn't anything dramatic, Nash would also lick the tip of his fingers and use that hand to comb back his hair. After that, he would continue licking his fingers without the motion through the hair and knock down his free throws. After almost 3,400 regular season attempts and a success rate of 90.4%, these rituals clearly seem to work for him. When you see Jerry Stackhouse step to the free throw line for the first time, you are not exactly sure if he is preparing to shoot free throws or getting ready to do squats. This was because he would bend his knees so low during his shot that his bum would nearly touch the floor. As weird as his shot looks, it really worked out for him. When he first started shooting this way, his percentage immediately went up, so he just kept doing it. He started the tradition in high school, brought it to college, and finally into the league. During his first 10 years in the NBA, he has made 4,032 free throws out of 4,946 free throws attempted. Using this technique has helped Stackhouse gain an 82.2% free throw percentage for his career. Gilbert Arenas had one of the longest free throw shooting routines in NBA history. The former point guard for the Washington Wizards would receive the ball from the referee, wrap it around his waist 3 times, spin the ball, and dribble it twice before letting it fly. You only got 10 seconds to shoot a free throw, and Arenas nearly took all of those seconds. But it must have worked out for him because Arenas was a career 80% free throw shooter. Dallas Mavericks superstar player Dirk Nowitzki has what some see as a strange ritual. During his free throws, he sometimes hums a David Hasselhoff song called Looking for Freedom. But you can't hate on this ritual because Nowitzki shoots a remarkable 90% from the free throw line, and his baskets have helped bring the Mavericks to outstanding heights. If you saw Rick Barry shoot free throws today, you might laugh. That is until you saw the rate at which Barry was hitting those free throws. Rick Barry had a career average of 89% from the free throw line. In fact, he shot over 90% in 7 different seasons. How did he do it? Barry would bounce the ball 3 times in front of himself before placing both hands on the top side of the ball and tossing the ball upwards at the basket. Barry shot his free throws underhanded like he was playing in a game of horse. The really interesting part about Barry's underhand free throws was that he did not put his hands underneath the ball but on top of the ball. Most people put both hands underneath the ball when shooting a granny shot, but Barry put it on top of the ball for more of a backward spin. It's no secret that big men in the NBA have always been poor foul shot shooters, but most are consistent with their routine. The difference between them and Wilt Chamberlain was that Chamberlain had no routine. Despite having multiple mentors over his 14 years in the league, Chamberlain shot below 50% from the free throw line throughout his career. His playoffs percentage was even worse. Although there was no video evidence for this because this was so long ago, Wilt Chamberlain was said to be so poor at shooting free throws that he would attempt to dunk it from the free throw line every time he had to step up to the line. The rules have changed today so that the free throw shooter cannot cross the free throw line before the ball touching the rim. The reason for this rule today was because of players like Chamberlain who would jump from the free throw line towards the rim on their free throws. Can you imagine that happening today? But hey, for a guy who once averaged over 50 points a game throughout a season, I think we can let his horrible free throw percentage slide. Karl Malone was not a great free throw shooter when he first entered the league. He actually shot 48.1% his first season and 59.8% his second season. However, by the end of his career, Malone shot a respectable 74.2% from the free throw line. One of the reasons for his improvement from the free throw line may have been due to his weird ritual. Whenever Karl Malone would go to the free throw line, he would spin the ball with both hands and whisper something underneath his breath as he was about to shoot the ball. No one really knew what Malone was saying. Some reports say that Malone was using his family as inspiration to hit his shots. Regardless, his free throw routine took so long that opposing crowds from different arenas would start counting to 10 to let the referees know how long he was taking. Karl Malone was one of the league's only players to use all of the 10-second free throw time limit. But considering Malone led the NBA in free throws made in a season, a league record 8 times, I have to give credit where it's due. And that concludes the video. As you can see, there are many NBA players that have strange habits, traditions, and secrets. These rituals that players have developed can only truly be understood by them, so we may never understand why they do what they do. However, these are professional athletes and the rest of us are not. So if they are succeeding in the league, then they must be doing something right. As always, if you enjoyed this video and would like to see more content, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. If I made any mistakes or missed any players that you felt should have been included, let me know so that I can include it in another video. Also, if you have any recommendations for future videos such as interesting stories or topics like this, please feel free to leave them in the comment section down below. As always, thanks for watching NBA Insider.